Let's begin, shall we?
Hi, hello. I don't know if that actually made any noise. It did? Okay. It just didn't come through on my end, but if it came through for y'all, then perfect. Is it starting the effing stream? Yes, Rad, it is. Yeah, it is really, really short. I was looking for longer versions of the clip, but all I could find was the was that from the trailer, so it was definitely quite short, but it gets the point across. We're ready to start. So I'm going to start up the puzzle and, yeah, get stream going. So, yeah, 3, 2, 1, let's go. All right. What do we got? Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Oh, no, the Wardrobe. Um, yeah, Tilda Swinton was the first one that came to my mind as well, but I don't know if the last name works. Swinto. Yeah. The other one is James McAvoy. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. McAvoy. Yeah. The Wrestler. So let's see, that was Evan Rachel Wood, Mickey Rourke, and Marissa Tomei. Mickey Rourke. Avengers Infinity War. It's 3 names. Um, who in that movie had 3 names? Or goes by 3 names? Hmm. Is correct. Yeah, Benicio del Toro. Good pool Weege. The museum critic. The collector, yes. He was in it for like 30 seconds. Yeah, it's the new things in Rivals with the collector as well, yeah. Oscar winner in 1980. We'll come back to that. Reservoir Dogs is Tim Roth, James Marsden. Although I think this might be Julia, so that might not be correct. Or it could be Julie, so Steve Buscemi. Yeah. Good job, Weege. Thor Ragnarok. Chris Hemsworth. We'll go with that. Avengers Age of Ultron. Ooh. My favorite character from that movie. Boogie Nights. And it's someone... Um... Is it William H. Macy? William H. Macy was really good in a movie last year called Train Dreams. Funky Bunch, Marky Wahlberg. Yeah. MASH. Donald Sutherland, I'm guessing. Oscar winner in 1998. I don't know. Someone. See, if they gave like the category, at least I could narrow it down some, but just the year, like, not able to pull that stuff as quickly. Network. Oh. Um, no, William Holden was in it, but that doesn't fit. It's Julie Walters for the whole thing. I believe you. So that means this starts with an R. Oh man, why can I not think of who the guy is in Network? In Time Bandits. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to look some of these up. Alright, so we got James McAvoy correct, we got Mickey Rourke correct, Benicio del Toro, good job, Major and Weege. Okay, Dustin Hoffman from 1980, so that would have been from Rain Man, I'm guessing. And then we got Steve Buscemi, right, even though I spelled it a little wrong. Can't think of it. Titanic was big that year. Helen Hunt. Oh, yeah. So we got Chris Hemsworth right, Elizabeth Olsen, William H. Macy, Donald Sutherland. Nailed all those. Helen Hunt, yeah, she won 1998. Would that have been for... If... Oh, As Good as It Gets. Twaiter? Twister, yeah. No, she... Yeah, she won 1998 for As Good as It Gets. And she was nominated in 2013 for The Session. Oh, yeah, I remember that movie. Yeah, Twister would have been the year before. Didn't Jack win as well? Probably. Yeah, Jack Nicholson won. Robin Williams won for Good Will Hunting and its lead actor. Wait. Oh, supporting actor was Robin Williams. Kim Basinger for LA Confidential, and then, yeah, I think Titanic won everything else except the acting awards. Oh, we have Robert Duvall. R.I.P. Robert Duvall from Network. I forgot he was in that. He was in so many movies. And then Sean Connery for Time Bandits. Yeah, I guess I kind of remember that. It's been a while since I saw Time Bandits, and not my favorite. And then Julie Walters. English actress. Best known for Billy Elliot. She was in Mamma Mia, Brooklyn, and as Major mentioned, the Harry Potter series as Molly Weasley. Yeah, I think she's just one of those English character actresses that just shows up in like everything. Like she's in Paddington, The Queen's Corgi. Sure, yeah. Mary Poppins Returns, Mamma Mia movies, Sherlock Gnomes, National Treasure, Brooklyn. She's fantastic. I love her. Yeah. Yeah, she just appears in everything. Probably someone you recognize whenever she pops up and stuff. Um, but doesn't get the credit that she probably deserves. Yeah, she's been in a ton of stuff. And if she's a British actress, of course she was in a version of Oliver Twist. Yeah, we're still in the 90s, down to the, yeah. From 1975, she's been working. Been in a lot of stuff. Alright, yeah. So we finished our puzzle. 18 for 18, keeping our 100% success rate going. Good job, team. Alright, now we got that done. We're going to get into hopefully finishing up the outline. And then moving on to some other stuff. We'll see. Where did we leave off? Okay. So, we got through a lot of stuff last time, and we basically left off at this kind of a little bit into the last sequence, but I wanted to think about how we got into the last sequence a little bit more, so I thought about it a little bit, and I have a slightly different idea, so we'll put that in and then pick up and hopefully get through the rest of the our kind of final sequence, our climax, and probably need to expand the resolution a bit more because I think the first time we went through it, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done, so I'm just they escape. It's fine, whatever. So, prior to the last sequence, where we are leaving our two main characters off with is Margaret has given up her pursuit of Helene and is in a relationship with Naeli, but because Naeli is human and Margaret is an immortal witch, it's not going to end well. So we're going to see glimpses of kind of how that relationship evolves and ultimately ends. And at the same time, Helene has been imprisoned by the hunters, and so she's going to be stuck, imprisoned, and unable to do much of anything. Then we are going to pick up in the present day. And the thing I kind of want to change is where we find Margaret, because I think every time she reverts to kind of the same thing of she becomes a farmer, she becomes a rancher, she always comes back to something to do um, with farming, with being at one with nature and the earth and that kind of stuff. So what I thought about for this one is Margaret surrounding a fruit stand on the side of a highway. For some places in the country, people will be like, what? In California, these are very, you see these a lot. They just have fruit stands on the side of the road, just in the middle of nowhere. And sometimes they have the best stuff. Um, So we're going to have Margaret running a fruit stand. She's going to go to grab some more fruit to restock something. And then a fancy schmancy sports car is going to pull up and someone steps out. She doesn't initially see who it is, but we know it's going to be Bryn. I'm struggling. Discovered that it's not Iz's, it's Bryn. She tells Margaret that they have some things to discuss. Oh, yeah, to discuss. I got there. It's fine. We're good. So, I might change how some things happen in this conversation, but I feel like all of the general information's going to eventually come through. It's just a matter of when. But yeah, ultimately, Margaret's going to agree to it. So, we have Bryn tells Margaret the hunters found Helene and she's in danger. Margaret tells Bryn, so this is part of the response to that. This is also part of it. So all those kind of go together. Yeah, I almost think we lead with this second part. Bryn tells Margaret she's been keeping an eye on her. Asks Margaret why she's given up. After everything she's gone through. Specifically, why she's given up searching for Helene after everything she's gone through. Because the previous interaction between Margaret and Bryn was Margaret asking Bryn for help finding Helene. So, because they are very old friends, Margaret would confide in Bryn her doubts. She's been chasing after Helene for over 200 years. So that brings up Helene, and then that's when Bryn says, That's why she's really here. She's found Helene, and she's in danger. But Margaret doesn't want anything to do with it, tells her to go to the Dianic Witches, but Bryn tells her all of the Dianic Witches have been captured. Margaret is obviously reluctant. She just wants to live in peace. Doesn't feel like this is her fight. And then Bryn brings up their previous conversation. I can talk. Sometimes. Um, about how Margaret convinced her to help her find Helene. Bryn follows up by asking her if she's really content with this life, and if she does nothing, Helene will die. Margaret wants to stay out of it. Can't, comma. She has to stay out of it. Bryn says, alright, it's your life, you can live it however you want. And then as Bryn's going to leave, she tells Margaret that she told Helene everything about Margaret in her search for her. Margaret considers. Bryn says she has a plan. Margaret agrees to help. Alright. The other thing about having this sequence set up in the way that we do is Bryn has her fancy sports car, so her and Margaret use that to go to the Hunter's secret base. On the way, Bryn tells Margaret the Hunters have developed technology to drain witches of their aura, render them powerless. Okay, so this is where we left off last time. This stuff we probably need to expand a lot on. Okay, so Bryn and Margaret arrive at the Hunter secret base. Yeah, yeah. So I'm probably going to have to think a little bit about what exactly the Hunter's base is going to look like. But I'm thinking middle of the desert, chain link fence, lots of security, and then inside there's the main building, but most of the stuff happening is underground. So we'll have to figure out a way to get them past the main gate. We know, but other characters don't yet, that Bryn is working with the hunters at this point. But they could also use some sort of magic if they want, because they can do that. But anyway, they're able to get inside. Go down to the secret base. But I imagine they're hiding somewhere down there. And on seeing Helene in prison, Margaret does something to give her and Bryn away. No A in that. Okay. And then, yeah, Margaret and Bryn are captured. Give me 1 second. We're in an ad break real quick. I need to go blow my nose. I will be right back. Major, you're in charge. I will join your rave, Major. Of course. Okay, so we have Margaret and Bryn in the hunter's base. They get captured. And brought to the hunter in charge. I feel like this might be the first time that we have a hunter actually be somewhat of a character, because up till now they're just something really surrounding the action and being a force of... Why can I not think of words today? Yeah. They're the bad guys that are just kind of hanging out. They're stormtroopers. But this hunter in charge is going to be an actual person that'll probably have more than, you know, one line of dialogue. Mariners! Hi, hello, welcome in. Gonna be lurking? Nice. Thanks for stopping by. Hope all is going well with you. Yun coming in at the same time. What is up? How's it going, guys? Hope everything's going well with y'all. We're trying to finish up our outline for our screenplay today, and then maybe try getting into actually writing some stuff, but we will see. Yeah, obviously Margaret would feel betrayed by this. We're doing editorials in DC, and Mariners said you went live. Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Is the... Huh? What is DC? Am I missing something? Oh, Discord. Okay. My Discord is not new. I've added some new stuff since I started the screenwriting stuff. We got links to both documents in there. Daniel Corbett. Yeah, we got links to both documents. I'm working on the outline and the notes, and then I have, yeah, just some other random stuff. Invalid link? Discord is the worst. But it's the only one we have. Invite to server. Copy link. Let's see if this works. Now we'll change it in... Okay, that one works. Nice. CloudBot, commands, Discord. Confirm. Alright. Should be updated in the commands now. Can I edit these from here? No, I'll do the other ones later. Whatever, it's fine. Yeah, and listen to Rad. Don't let Fitty tell you what to do. Yeah, just live your best life. Alright, anyway, yeah. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you guys. And hope you're having a good Sunday. It's Sunday. Don't recall saying that, but it sounds like something I'd say. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you said it at some point in there. And it does seem like something you would say. Alright, so we have... Margaret captured by the hunters. Feels betrayed by Bryn. We have the hunters starting up their machine. So... yeah, I'm going to leave this kind of short and to the point for right now, because the way I'm kind of imagining how they'll have to imprison the witches and how this will have to all be set up is something we'll get to eventually, hopefully. Actually, you might want to do this part first. Alright, so hunters capture Margaret. Margaret feels betrayed. And then the hunters tell Bryn she's no longer of use to them. And after they activate the machine, so they might do some stabby stabby. Okay. So we need... Then the hunters start up the machine. This is Vids watching on the TV. Hi Vids. Hello, how you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Okay. Yeah, it's showing your username. You're prepping dinner? Nice. Yeah, Weege was also getting dinner ready as well. So hopefully I can keep y'all company while you're making some delicious, delicious food. Yeah, we received the QR code, logged onto my account on my phone, which makes sense. Yeah, Panda's account is called Vidsy too. So the hunters are overconfident. They joke that Bryn didn't see that they would turn on her, even though she's a seer. But mainly watching on the TV. Okay. Yeah, I run everything through my TV, so all the streams I watch are on the big screen. Oh, I'm famous now? Oh, no. Up until now, I wasn't famous. Now I don't know what to do. So, question for you, chat. So at this point, we're in the lead up of kind of the climactic action of the movie. But there's some information that Bryn needs to convey to Margaret. I don't want to just like stop the scene cold and have them in like, for lack of a better term, like astral project and have them talk to each other. But I need a way for them for Bryn to communicate some stuff to Margaret. So maybe just having Margaret project herself to Bryn would work. Yeah. Monologue? Maybe. Yeah. That could kind of work. Okay, yeah, so let's say lying on the ground, bleeding. You need popcorn seeds, pass it on. Uh, yeah, when I was younger, I used to like the barely popped ones because I could chew on them for a long time, but that's very bad for your teeth. So yeah, probably shouldn't do that. Okay, so the hunters start up the machine. They think they've won, but then we refocus on Bryn on the ground and says she knew that they were going to turn on her. This was the only way. And that's when she sabotage the machine. And has Margaret absorb all the aura from the machine. The writer will remember this. Uh, yeah, one of the. Here, I'll bring it up. So, when I first started this, I had. I think it's this one. Um, some things I wanted to do specifically with this, and part of it was the events and characters depicted in the screenplay are fictitious. Any similarity to actual persons living or dead or to actual events is purely coincidental. So, yeah, I'm not writing about anyone in particular. We never do that. Yeah, that's the main thing. I just don't want to get sued. Man's bulletproof. Nah, I'm not Luke Cage. Sag. Um, yeah, so Bryn sabotages the machine. Margaret absorbs all the aura from the machine. Yeah, there's a lot of bulletproof superheroes out there, but Luke Cage was kind of the first one that came to mind, and that's kind of his main thing is being bulletproof. So I went with Luke Cage. All right, then Margaret uses all of the witches combined. Yeah, I guess we'll put that in there. Combined powers to get rid of the hunters. With the hunters gone, Margaret frees the witches and releases their powers back to them. And then Margaret goes to help Bryn, who's still, lying on the ground, close to death. Helene goes there too, because Bryn, in the previous scene with Helene, led her into a trap and why she's been imprisoned here. Ah, you redeemed random 50 fact. Um, what area or genre or type of fact would you like to know? But at this point, also, Helene doesn't recognize Margaret. What's the craziest thing you've ever done? Eesh. I am not one to do crazy things. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I forgot the cheese. Start a sentence with or. That's crazy. Oh, what's the craziest thing I've ever done? For me, it would be jumping onto the hood of my car as wow. Yeah, that would be crazy. I've never had anything like that before. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm a very. I like to plan things out. I don't like to do things spontaneously. I like to always have a plan. So, I don't know. It was fine until they got on the freeway. Thinks he's in Los Santos. I don't know if this is considered crazy. Probably just a poorly thought out plan. Um, but for my last birthday, I decided I was going to go to a national park kind of close to me, Yosemite National Park. It's kind of a popular one. Um, so I went there and I had like figured out all the hikes and stuff I wanted to do, but thinking about how long the hike was versus actually doing it were two completely different things. So I think I ended up hiking like 13 miles in one day, which is not advisable, especially when you're old like me. So that was, I don't know if you'd call it crazy or just poorly thought out plan. But yeah, we'll go with that. On his previous birthday, Fiddy thought he could hike the entire day and went 13 miles and paid for it for the next week. Gives whole new meaning to Subway Surfer. Ah, no comment. Um, all right, before we get into finishing up the outline, because we really just have the resolution or the denouement, if you want to be French and fancy about it. I'm gonna take a quick break, and I'll throw up some um, words on stream games for people to play while I am not here. There we go. All right, so yeah, a bunch of letters are going to show up on stream. You type words in. If it fits, it'll pop up on the thing. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Well done, gang. Alright, we're gonna start up another one while I get some more to drink. 3, 2, 1, go. Really? Is that... I thought rueful was a word. That's some bullshit. Oh, there's only one T. And one U. Oh, Major already got that one. Of course Major already got it. Yes, and only one Major wager. There's only allowed to be one. Major with the gold medal, carrying us, as always. I helped. Yes, it is Highlander rules with the Major of wages. Yeah, for sure. Everyone helped. Everyone did amazing. Well job, everyone. Go team. That might have sounded like I was being sarcastic. It's not. I'm still getting over this stupid head cold. So I'm still kind of congested. Yeah, I realized that after I said it. I was like, yeah, that might have sounded very sarcastic. It was not meant to be. Yay, sports ball. Alright, so now we have Margaret and Helene in the same place, free, hunters are gone, Bryn's dying. And here's where Bryn will do her second kind of monologue. Switch screens, buddy. Oh, thank you, Major.
Begin, shall we?
Okay, that might have played again. I don't know. Thanks for letting me know, Major. Yeah. Margaret's there, Lean's there, Bryn's dying. So... but I'm not... Okay, yeah. Well, we are beginning again, so it does also work. As long as it doesn't go on, like, loop, repeat, like, the one alert, I think we're okay. So this is where Bryn is basically going to reveal everything. That she saw how Helene survived being burnt at the stake. Helene, from the beginning, thinks she saved herself. But Bryn reveals the truth. There was greater magic at play. All that stuff. Special magic. And Helene, after all this, realizes that it's Margaret next to her. Okay, so... Okay, so I want to have them leave this place. So, Bryn dies. Helene has to realize it's Margaret next to her. But this might come a bit later. You went to get an orange. Why is Meiju complaining? Meiju said she's not complaining. Yeah, she would complain because you left, Rad. Shouldn't dialogue be honest? In the actual screenplay document it will be, but sometimes I just write bits of dialogue in the outline for... rather than just saying like she said, or she says something like blah blah blah. It's just sometimes I just write the line, and yeah, when I get to the actual screenplay, it'll be all separated out. Shouldn't popcorn seeds be in the bin rather than your mouth? Fair point. Nope. That's the Discord link. We don't need that anymore, hopefully. Till the next time someone can't get on it. Okay. Yeah, basically I just need a way for... I want the last scene to be outside. Because So, in the hero's journey, which a lot of contemporary screenplays are kind of um, structured around, the climax always happens or is based around the idea of like a hero going into like the deepest, darkest place they can imagine. So that's why a lot of times like they'll go into like underground or they'll go to a specific place that is outside of the normal world. But once the climax is over, once the hero is won, they need to return to the world. So that's why I want them to not be in the base where the climax happened for the final bit, but I want them to have returned outside to the natural world. So we have Bryn dies, we have Helene realizes it's Margaret. They ask each other, what do we do now? They have all these captured witches, and so they all go outside. And then there's obviously going to be tension between Margaret and Helene because of the revelations that they've just discovered. But one thing is Margaret's gonna tell Helene she forgot what she really looks like. Helene remembers still after all these years. And Helene casts a spell to change her face back to what it was in the first scene, what it originally was. And on seeing her, yeah, the sun rises in the background and they kiss, and everything's amazing because, of course, it is. Hmm. So these are all our early notes. So there's kind of two things that I want to have that are not currently in the outline. So one thing we want is an explanation of magic in this world. So I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do this because a lot of the characters are already witches, so and witches explaining how magic works to each other doesn't make the most sense in the world to me, but we're going to need an explanation of how magic works in this world, so somewhere, some point, we're going to have that. The other thing is, at the end, what happens to the hunters? Because the easiest thing would just be like she basically does a Thanos snap and they just are all gone. But I don't like the idea of her just, killing a bunch of people. So the idea I had is she sends them all to like a what is northern Russia, like a northern Russia Arctic prison camp. So they know what it's like to be imprisoned and have no power. That's what I want her to do with the hunters. But if we do that, it'll have to be somewhere in the falling action. Siberia, yes, thank you, Major. In a Siberian prison camp. But I feel like if we show that, it will slow down the action at a point where we want to accelerate action. Because from the climax to the end, you want everything moving quickly. Because you don't want people to get bored or lose interest. You want things to move along. And I don't want to do like a post-credit scene showing them there, but it's a thing that might not end up fitting into this, but it's what happens to them. So in the climax, so at some point, that's two things we need to do. So, yeah. We have, I feel like, our outline. We're at just about 10 full pages. And 9 3/4. We'll say 10. You use YouTube for VOD? Yes. Yeah, after my streams, I'll download the VOD and then upload it to YouTube afterwards. So, yeah, all the archive is there. Because when you're an affiliate on Twitch, they get deleted after 14 days, I believe. So, what about the after credit scene? Uh, I've only ever included an after credit scene in one thing I've written because I was writing a movie to be part of the previous DC Comics universe, and that was kind of par for the course, but generally I don't write them, Rad. But we could do that because it's a question I want to answer, but putting it in the falling action, I don't want it to slow that down. Gotta set up the Witch Avengers, yes. Okay, let's see. Does this... Alright. So, this is the online tool I use for screenplays. I will plug it because it's quite good. I like using it. This is a different layout for it, though. View. Page zoom. 150. There we go. Oh, it's just out. 125. There we go. Everything's on one line now. If anyone's looking for screenplay writing software, Writer Duet is my go-to. Led by Nicholas Furious. Alright. So this is our title page. Yes, I know what a title page is. Thank you. I do not have a... What's his middle name? Fast and? I don't think Samuel L. Jackson was in any of the Fast and Furious movies, though. So I don't have an actual name for this yet. That's something we can all think about, and if anyone has suggestions, you can let me know. Right now, I'm just calling it Untitled Witch Project. Written by... Um... What we will do... Story by... And... Chat. Story by 54 and chat. Not putting my address, phone, and email in here, but I do want that. I don't know why it made it like that. Format. Text alignment. Left. Why is it all... Oh my god. Mariners. Boo. Alternatively is copying the copyright symbol. You can do Alt plus. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can never keep track of it. I always like the title being a little bit bigger. There we go. There we go. Someone violates the... Okay. Oh, I have to unclick. Why is it? No, we want left. There we go. One dad joke for all your years. Uh, and I'll put my whatever email there as well. Then at the bottom of the title page, I also like to have a quote of some sort. I do not have one already set up, so we're just going to leave it there for now. So, I'll leave that up to chat as well. If anyone has a good quote or something that they think gives kind of the feeling of the story, we can put it in here. I like using song lyrics or famous quotes. I try not to use movie quotes, um, but yeah. If the broom fits, fly it. Yeah. We have no brooms in this. Alright, so we got Untitled Witch Project, written by 54, story by 54, and chat. Back to script. If the broom fits, stick it up your... What? Stick it up what? Sorry, been a long editing section full of golf claps. There's only one U. Yeah. Yep. Major knows there's only one U. And only one T. Alright, I guess we're gonna start writing stuff. What I always like to do is just copy my entire outline and set it as note. So you see it's kind of faded from the other stuff. So we have it here. We can reference it a lot easier than constantly clicking back to our outline. But it's not actually part of it. Let me see. There should be like preferences somewhere. Because they do some stuff I don't like, but not a huge deal. Because this spacing seems very long. Alright, so all screenplays, most of them, all of them start with fade in. It's just a way of saying, like, we're going from nothing to something. Then we have our scene header, and this is where we're going to describe where the action is taking place. This can get kind of confusing when we're in, like, certain areas, but the thing that I was told that makes it a lot easier for me is you want to say where the camera is. So, like, if you're inside looking out, then you would go interior house and then describe it as looking out through a window. What if the story was about digging? Would it say spade in? No, it would ask, can you dig it? Can you dig it, sucker? Alright, yeah, I need to find... Is it customize layout? Hey, this is how it usually looks for me. We'll take that. Okay, yeah, we got all our stuff over here now. This is what I'm looking for. Format. We got Courier Prime, Scene. I like to have them bolded. Line before 1. 1.5. No, we'll set it as 2. That's fine. That's default. And then I also like to have question for chat. Do you want to use the dark editor or is regular fine? Dark, please? Alright. So this is all fine. It should have something for... I always forget where certain stuff is. Show deleted text, no. Show page numbers, scene. Yes, we want scene numbers. That's the other thing I wanted. Alright. So now we have our dark mode, so it looks a little bit different. Of course it didn't. Show numbers only on left. There we go. I just like the way that looks better. Yeah, so we have exterior, garden, colonial settlement, late day. So when you're writing a scene header, you always start with interior or exterior. So you're either inside or outside. You can do like interior / exterior if you're moving from inside to outside or something like that. But generally you'll do INT or EXT for interior exterior. Then you want to start with the most specific thing and expand to broader areas. So if you're starting at like someone's apartment, you can do like living room, apartment, city. Does that make sense? In NORAD, you don't always have to go all the way out to Earth, solar system, galaxy, universe. I'm just giving you a hard time. Tried to flex, but he doesn't go to the gym. Oh, do we not have follow age set up? Alright, and because we're starting this at a specific time and place, and this doesn't all go into the header, we're just saying straight up, we're in colonial America, late 1600s, upstate New York, late summer. This should go up here. There we go. That's better. Then we have to actually describe what's happening. Okay. What? Okay, we're done with that. So we're gonna start off with Margaret in her garden. So we have to describe the garden first. So what do we see? I do not know how to describe vegetables well. Um, Forget what kind of vegetables they had. Um, let's go. What kind of vegetables were grown in colonial America? Gardening in colonial America. I think we looked up this one before. Um, oh, that's right. They brought like seeds and stuff over with them. Okay, so they have cabbage, squash, potatoes. Squash, plant. That's what we want to see. Yeah, so if I'm not quite sure how to describe something, I start looking up pictures or imagining it until I figure out exactly how I want to describe it. Like, that is kind of what I see in my head. So I don't think fenced is quite the right word, but I imagine they have some sort of wood structure that delineates the edge of the garden. One of the... Oh, geez. What's the plural for squash? Is it squashes? Yeah, I guess so. Um... Okay, we don't want it to be the same word. I don't know, what's a... Bring up our thesaurus. Restore. And then not always, but is generally easier that if you're speaking in the non-primary language, to italicize the text. And it's also useful, like if someone's not on screen or like over radio, over um, the telephone or something like that. Actually, we don't see her yet, so we're also going to say Margaret whispers from off screen. I always mess that up with invigorate. I always think it starts with E for some reason when it doesn't. Okay, so what would we say, English or British? English and British are not the same. Kokoroflo! Hi, hello, how you doing? Use Writer Duet too? Yeah, I originally started using another software called Celtics way back when I first started writing, but then they changed their software, so at the bottom of every page it had a watermark you couldn't remove, and that really annoyed me. But then I found Writer Duet, and I've been using it ever since. Depends on their views, works either way. Nice. Okay, so English refers specifically to England, while British refers to the entire United Kingdom. Okay, she's specifically from England, so she would be English. You're good? Yeah, I'm doing good. Getting over being sick, but I think I'm on the last legs of it, so yeah. And we're finally getting into actually writing something, which is a nice change of pace. We got through our outline. I think we have everything in a pretty good place. So, yeah, we're getting into actually writing some stuff. It's complicated, but for 1600s, English is correct. Yeah. Yeah, the thing on Google said English would be specifically people who live in England, whereas United Kingdom would refer to everywhere in the islands, but yeah, at that time, it's probably different as well. So, yeah, English probably works. And for this, like, if you think about a screenplay, people don't often read them unless they one want to get into screenwriting, want to know more about movies, things like that. You ultimately write it with the intent of it being seen on a screen. So you're ultimately writing, when you're describing a character, you're trying to tell the casting director or the person who you're trying to sell it to, this is what your main character, or this is what this particular character is going to be. So we're saying Margaret is in her mid 30s. Technically, she's not. She's immortal, but that's how she looks. That's how we want to cast her. So that's what we're going to write. Um, Margaret is in her mid 30s. English. I can't spell anything tonight, but it's fine. Medium length. Yeah, I think Helene will probably have her be blonde, so having Margaret be brunette will probably make more sense. Lorenzo the Boss. Hi, hello, welcome in. How you doing? Was That's going way back. With the impending release of Scream 7, it was yeah. Wavy brunette hair. Um, just writing a screenplay as well. Nice. What is yours about? Kind of curious. If you want to share, cool. If not, that is also cool. Holy shit, it's Lorenzo. Yep. Ask him about his favorite fast food place. Okay, so it's kind of what... Some football players, as referred to as prolific shot hitters. Well, he's a prolific short shitter. Okay, cool. What the fuck is this? Not what I want. What am I missing? Oh yeah, Lorenzo calling everyone old. Hey, I'm actually not the oldest person in my own chat. That's a nice change. And you write a story, well, it's a lot. Fair. Genre, psychological horror slash slice of life. Hold up, did you schedule a time beta read it? It's going to be an anime inspired series. Nice try. Yeah, we don't have your sign up command in my channel. Sorry. So I'm guessing it's just kind of what I imagine, like very not this. More like on the right hand side. Yeah, just plain. Also, Yun, how was signing the Declaration of Independence? Why did I lose the word? Yeah, his strategy has lost his fake teeth. Oof. I probably shouldn't tell you. I'm older than Yun, and I'm not the oldest one here. What is the fabric? Linen, that's what I was thinking. Jeez, I am struggling. Hate it here, want to go home. No, don't leave. That is a valid question. Um, so we described her look. We would. I also want to say something about kind of her demeanor, but I usually like to come back to do that after I've written the character for at least a little bit, so I have a better sense of them. Obviously, I'm risking with a streamer because, well, I appreciate that you like it here. So verdant just means like green, not. I cannot spell anything. It's fine. Whatever. So vigorous is pretty much right, but I feel like that's more like a descriptor of a person. Yeah. Huh? Did I add a letter? Yeah. I changed an E to an O. It's fine. So we want those. Those. I don't know what this is. Oh, they must have added that. Alright. I just saw that we were over 2 hours, so 3 hours of edits later, we are nice. Yeah, I was gonna say I just hit 2 hours, so I think this is where I'm gonna call it for today. So we've got the beginning of our first scene at least, so we've at least started. So, all right, night, Mariners. Have a good one. I'll talk to you probably tomorrow in Yun stream. Yeah, so we got where we are in kind of the beginning. We're in ads. Alright, I'll wait for ads to finish.
Hey, Peter Parker. You got something for me? Hey, Peter Parker. You got something for me?
Major! Oh, it's still going.
Hey, Peter Parker. You got something for me? Hey, Peter Parker. You got something for me?
Major is the bestest.
Hey, Peter Parker. You got something for me?
Alright, I think that was all 5. Major, I appreciate you. You're the best. I couldn't do any of this without you. I appreciate you. Yeah. Anyone who got a gifted sub, you get some emotes and you don't have to watch ads, and yeah, you can thank Major for all of it. Um, where was I? Oh, yeah. Ending stream. Yeah, so we got kind of the first part of our first scene done, so when we get back next time, we'll pick it up and continue going through kind of our opening sequence. And yeah, we're into the screenwriting part of the screenwriting um, stream. Yeah, that made sense. But yeah, that's going to do it for today. I will be back on Tuesday evening.
Hey, Peter Parker. You got something for me?
Mariners. I appreciate that. Gifting us up to Written by Liv. Nice. Yeah, that's cool that they got it. Now you just gotta tell them to stop by more often. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, I know everyone has stuff going on all the time, so I appreciate anyone and everyone who can stop by. If anyone has suggestions for a raid, let me know. Because I just looked, I didn't really see anyone else online, so we'll just end it here if we don't have anyone to raid. But until then, I appreciate everyone. Major, you're the best. Mariners, I appreciate the gifted sub. Hellish Mist. Alright, we can raid them. I can try to. Alright, we got a raid started. I don't have a raid message. I probably should try to figure out one at some point, but it's fine. We'll go over to Hellish Mist, see what they're up to, and say hi and what's up and all the stuff. Vidsy, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. And I got to be on your TV for a little bit. As I said, be back on Tuesday evening, continue writing stuff. Until then, if you want to join the Discord, cool. We got some stuff over there. Still trying to add new stuff here and there. Yeah. We got links to our documents, so if anyone has any good ideas, again, if anyone has ideas for a title that could work or a quote, I'm always open to suggestions, or else I'll just probably try to think of one at some point, who knows when. Yeah, again, thank you everyone for stopping by. I appreciate it, and I will see y'all next time.